Hi, this is Andy McNeil. This is the third of the 3 videos for the FHP Training for Program Review. We're going to cover 3 things here. We're going to look at the rubric real quick, and then we're going to look at some example answers to the questions in the faculty request form. And then we're going to also analyze those questions. I'm going to ask that during this video, if you're watching it alone or if you're in a session where they're showing it to everybody, to stop the video at the questions so that you can pair up and talk about what's good about these questions, or what's not necessarily good, but what supports the request and what doesn't. Okay, so let's get started here. Okay, here's the rubric. There's 4 things, or just 3 areas that we score each of the requests on, and they correspond to the areas in the request form that you fill out. So 1 will be the total FTF and percentage, 2, the description, 3, the service area enhancement, how it enhances your area, and also 4 is anything else that you wanted to add that wasn't covered in the other questions. There's also this year a place to expand on number 1, a narrative of total FTF and the explanation there. So remember that in the data, in the request form, that data is auto-populated when you choose your discipline. So use that data, and that first part there is going to be used to score part 1. If you're not an instructional discipline, or you're looking for an out-of-class faculty member, use the program review data and resources, and in there's a link to data dashboards for MESA. There's some great areas there that you can get the type of data that you need to support your request. Okay, so I said that there was an area to do a narrative of that first part, the FTF and the FTS, and any impact it might have. So here's an example of that. So what I'd like you to do is pair up and look at these example answers. Think about what are the strengths of this answers. How did they use or did not use data to support their request? And what is missing that you think would make it better for this request? Okay, so if somebody could stop the video and you guys could take maybe a minute to do that and then share your ideas. Okay, we're going to go on now. Number 2, the description of the rationale for the position. This is the second question. I have 3 examples here. Here's one. Go ahead and do a quick read. Again, if you could stop this video or pause it so that folks can look at it and discuss those 3 things. What are the strengths of this answer? How does the use of data support, or the lack of use of data not support the request? And what is missing that would make it better? Okay, next one. Here is another example of that same request. What is in here this time? Well, I'm going to give you a clue. There's the use of data in this one. So this actually utilizes the information given. You could stop this real quick, or we can move on to the next one. Okay, on to the next one. Here's an example of a non-classroom assignment. This is for counseling. This is a way to support that type of request without the data that's auto-populated. Go ahead and stop and look at this, and what are the strengths of this answer, and how does the use of data support or not support the request, and what is missing that would better support this request. Here's question 3. How will the addition of new tenure track faculty enhance your program or service area? Again, look at what the strengths are, how the use of data supports the request or not, and what is missing that would better support the request. Then there's that 4th question that we have on the form. That other considerations and data that support your recommendation are not covered in questions 1 through 3. And here's an example of, the type of answer you can provide there. So that was just a quick example of some answers that you know would support or not support your request. If you have any other questions, here's my contact info. Thank you very much, and good luck on your program review.